Donald Trump has once again sent shockwaves through the global economy by announcing a 25% tariff on all cars and auto parts imported into the United States. The new tariffs, set to take effect from April 2 for cars and later in May for parts, are part of Trump's broader strategy to boost domestic manufacturing. He claims this move will lead to, and I quote, tremendous growth in the US auto industry, creating jobs and encouraging car makers to build more vehicles within the country. However, experts warn that the tariffs could disrupt supply chain, raise vehicle prices, and strain international trade relations. First, let's understand the global impact of this decision. The impact of these tariffs will be felt worldwide. The US imports around 8 million cars annually, accounting to for approximately 240 US dollars billion in trade. Mexico, South Korea, Japan, Canada, and Germany are the biggest suppliers, and many of these nations have reacted sharply to Trump's decision. The Japanese government, whose automakers Toyota, Nissan, and Honda rely heavily on US sales, has stated that it will explore quote unquote all options to respond to these tariffs. The EU has also hinted at potential countermeasures, while Canada has called it a direct attack on its economy. The UK, whose second largest export market is in the US, has also expressed concerns, urging negotiations to avoid any further economic damage. What about stock markets? Stock markets around the world have already reacted negatively. In the US, shares of major automakers have taken a hit. General Motors dropped nearly 7%, Ford saw a decline of over 4%, and Tesla slipped 1%. The effects were also felt in Asia, where Japanese index fell by 1%, South Korea's index declined by 1.3%, and Toyota's stock price slid by 2.6%. Companies like Mazda and Subaru faced even sharper drops, plunging by around 6%. These market reactions indicate a global growing fear of global auto trade will face severe disruptions, leading to increased costs for manufacturers and customers alike. For the United States, the consequences of these tariffs could be complex. While Trump argues that they will encourage American automakers to produce more vehicles domestically, many believe and warn that they could backfire. Car companies, even those based in US, rely heavily on foreign-made parts. The Anderson Economic Group estimates that tariffs on components alone could increase vehicle cost by $4,000 to $10,000, making cars more expensive for the American consumers. This could slow down car sales, reduce customer spending, and ultimately hurt the economy at large. Additionally, the auto industry is one of the largest employers in the US, and any disruption in supply chain could lead to job losses instead of job creation. What about our country, India? How will our economy face the impact? Well, India is not a major exporter of cars to the US, but the ripple effect of these tariffs could still impact Indian auto industry. India's exports of auto parts to the US were valued at around 1.5 billion in 2023, and the new tariffs could make Indian products less competitive in the American market. Companies like Tata Motors, whose subsidiary Jaguar Land Rover relies on US sales, have already felt the impact. Its stock price dropped by 5% following Trump's announcement of these tariffs. Then we have the manufacturers of Royal Enfield motorcycles. They could also see a decline in US demand, affecting its high-end bike sales. One question is whether these tariffs will benefit Tesla. While Trump insists there will be a net neutral or even good for the company, Elon Musk has pushed back, saying the tariffs will significantly impact Tesla as well. Tesla relies on imported parts, and higher costs could mean increased prices for its vehicle. Although the tariffs may disadvantage Tesla's foreign competitors, the company itself is not immune from the challenges these trade barriers create. Trump's aggressive tariff strategy is not new, but this latest move is already reshaping global trade dynamics. With major economies around the world now considering countermeasures and automakers scrambling to adjust. The coming months will determine and define whether this policy strengthens American manufacturing or creates more economic turmoil around the world. The stakes are high and the world is watching closely.